Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to my channel. I haven't seen you in a while, but I found some of my recordings from before, and so that will be my first video, is showing you me restoring my typewriter. My typewriter is a 1949 Royal KMG typewriter. It's a family heirloom. My grandmother purchased it to do a secretary job that she was hired at, which happens to be where she met my grandfather. So what you see here is that the platen on this wheel had become really brittle and hard, and it was making typing difficult. So I replaced the rubber over the top and then used a heat gun to form that back down. That took a very long time. I spared you so much footage, but when that was done, then I got on to replacing the ribbons. So the ribbons come on these wheels that aren't appropriate for the typewriter, so what you have to do is transfer them to the appropriate wheels. So if you see that grommet there, I simply cut that away, and then I'll load that ribbon into the appropriate wheel after that. And then in very quick time, you'll see me wind that wheel up with the new ribbon. This project was a lot of fun. I thought it would be more tedious than it was, but it did take a long time, but it wasn't that difficult. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. If I can find them again, this was many years ago now, but if I can find them again, I'll link them down below. But once I found the supplies, the rest was pretty easy breezy. So that's me winding the ribbon up onto the correct wheel. Once it's done being wound up, I will cut the end again, and then I will connect that end to an appropriate wheel for the left-hand side. I also went in with diluted isopropyl alcohol and a baby toothbrush or an infant toothbrush, and went through each key and would type it up, and then would go in the slugs and everything and clean all the dust out and all the grime, and the alcohol really helps break some of that up. However, be aware that that alcohol is going to, that's the old ribbon. You can see it was really worn out. So that's me pulling it off so that I can rewind it. Anyway, back to what I was saying, the isopropyl alcohol will break down a lot of that grime, but some of that grime is just old lubricant. So the alcohol will dry all of that out, and so you'll want to go back in. There's specific oil that you will use to re-oil all of the keys. So I did that as well. It's pretty easy to find, and it comes with a cap that has sort of a needle-like applicator, so you can get real into all those little nooks and crannies, stuff that's hard to reach, pretty easily. So I replaced the ribbon with what would have been similar to the original. It's black and red, and I polished the body up as well and touched up the logo, realigned everything. It felt like I was preserving a story from my family, which we don't have many of those, and we don't have a lot of evidence of that. My family moved a lot, and there was just a lot of chaos, so it felt really good to have this heirloom, albeit quite a heavy heirloom to move around, but something that is usable, that I'll be able to write other stories on, or create art on, or whatever it might be. So I was really excited to have this connection to my grandparents, who are both passed now. Plus it's just a really amazing machine. I love typewriters, and I'm really excited to get to use it. Oh yeah. Wear gloves if you don't want your fingers to get nasty. But it was a lot of fun to get in there and get to work. So now I'm replacing this wheel, loading everything up. Clips in like so. And then I was ready for a test, the first test page. You'll probably hear some really beautiful little clacks. I left some of that sound in so you can hear how well this sounds. Oh, here's an example of me brushing out the keys on the inside. I was still having some difficulty with some of them sticking, so I went through and did that quite a few times. So don't be disheartened, just go for it and keep trying if you need to. This project wasn't just about restoration for me, it was definitely a connection to my grandparents and to the past and the stories waiting to be written in my life. I know my grandmother certainly imagined that many of her things, especially this typewriter, would one day be passed down. But I think she'd be really excited and really proud to know that it was not only passed down to sit around for people to look at, but it was actually passed down to be used. I also have some handmade quilts from each of my great-grandparents on that side that I use as well, that they just mean so much to me. So I got all of this set up, put it all back together. Look how beautiful this piece of art is. And then I loaded another test page. And look at that. You can see the ribbon popping up to make each of those letters. The keys are working really smoothly. The carriage is moving smoothly. And here we are. It was working beautifully. I was so excited. Thanks.